And we are back, and we just finished watching 2014's Nightcrawler, rated R, with a runtime of 1 hour and 57 minutes. We saw this it was playing on HBO, but we picked it up from the beginning on demand, but I believe it's playing on HBO Max, if you're so inclined to look for it, as well as, just HBO Max with a subscription or with Prime Video channels. I guess you can get it for rent through Prime. This is the story of Louis Bloom, played exquisitely by Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
As this very, I don't even know how to describe him. He's definitely a con man
He's a fast talker.
He's a fast talker, and he's very smart.
Yeah, he's a guy who has an excessive amount of knowledge about just random stuff, but up until the beginning of the movie, it doesn't seem to have been really paying off for him in any kind of way. I guess he just doesn't have the formal education, so he's pretty much just robbing and stealing and
right. You see that in the beginning.
Yeah, that's how he's sort of like scraping to get by.
Right.
And then he sort of stumbles upon this world that he didn't realize
existed.
And he sees this amazing opportunity to make money. As he's driving down the highway, he sees that there's an accident, and he pulls over, and he sees all these aside from the police who are trying to rescue a woman from a burning car. These vans show up with cameramen, and they start filming everything. And he sees them leave, the camera guys leave, and they're yelling about how they're going to try and sell the footage. So he asks them, how much money can you make doing this? And are you hiring? He's always asking everybody that he deals with, are you hiring? Are you hiring? He really wants to make money. And the guy's like, no, we ain't hiring. The guy's like, I'm barely making ends meet, whatever. So he decides, okay, I'm going to scrounge up some money, buy myself a camcorder and a police scanner, and go into business for myself.
Right. He steals a bike, goes to a pawn shop.
Does all that.
Makes it happen.
And so it begins. And he excels at it because he just doesn't care. He has no fear or feeling or sense of morality. So while the other cameramen are sort of being kind of respectful and staying a certain distance away, he is walking right between the police and the paramedics and basically shoving a camera into the victims.
Yeah.
It's very, the blood and suffering is just completely on display. And as a result, he goes to a newsroom, and the woman who runs the newsroom, played by Renee Russo, she's just like, all right, this is amazing. We're going to run with this, because it's interesting that it basically is an honest portrayal of media where the phrase, if it bleeds, it leads, exists. Really, and it really does exist to this day, because, let's be honest, most of the time you're listening to the news, it's just horrible.
Yeah.
They want to report on every terrible, nasty thing, because the nice stuff just doesn't get ratings.
Right.
And that was a huge factor in this story.
I was going to say, and even at the end, remember when that guy goes to Nina, the Renee Russo character, and he's like, I found this out. And she's like, well, that's not the story. The story is crime in America. And he's like, what? I just told you that I got it from a source.
Because honestly, what he was reporting was also crime, crime in the suburbs, but it was less
sensational.
It wasn't less sensational. It was less fearful, because the angle that they were going for was innocent people having their lives torn apart as crime invades the nice suburban white bread areas.
Right.
And this new facet of information it's still crime, it's still invading the suburbs, but people aren't going to be afraid.
Right.
There was a motive for why that happened, as opposed to just, we're crazy, violent criminals, and ooh, look, that's a nice house. Anybody's house, no one's safe.
And she even wanted to bury it. She's like, push
it
tomorrow,
for noon right now. This is the story that we're running.
Right.
And you just see, it's funny how, I don't really want to give away too many detail spoilers about what's going on, because it's kind of describing just the story.
Right. But it's
interesting that Jake Gyllenhaal's character,
Louis Bloom,
that Louis is without moral.
No.
He's basically setting a plan, putting it in motion, getting it done, doing whatever he needs to do to get it done.
takes out the
he basically
competition.
he takes it. He basically sets a target and goes for the target relentlessly until he has accomplished the goal, even if even in cases of like a relationship.
Yeah.
And it's funny, the Renee Russo character she talks about morals, but in reality she has none. And you're thinking, this is terrible, but they're made for each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, she could like clutch her pearls and think, oh, this is terrible, all she wants. But the fact that she's just like, it's all about the ratings. It's all about getting that sensation. It's all about blood on the screen.
Yeah.
And getting people to be so afraid that they're going to tune in. Like even after he has that first batch of spectacular footage, and the other people in the newsroom too, aside from that one guy who sort of had morals.
Yeah.
Well, like when they were done editing when they were done showing the news story where she's like coaching the anchors, what to say, repeat it.
Yeah.
Be more.
Highlight that.
Yeah. Highlight that.
Say it again.
When the guy when they cut to commercial, the guy who's like doing all the camera work, he's just like, that's a 10 share.
Yeah.
They just saw like bloody bodies and people just torn up by shotguns, and they're just like, that's a 10 share.
Well, the other thing I was going to say was it felt like, so one of the interesting things about this particular character, the Louis Bloom character, is that he almost like metamorphoses, right, through observation, through learning. And in the beginning, like the Nina character, the Renee Russo character, is the alpha. Mm-hmm. But I think when there's that scene, I won't give too much away, but when he has this confrontation with her and he sort of makes a stand and he makes demands, it's almost like there's a role reversal. Now he's the alpha.
You see the dynamic change.
And even towards the end, like when that other guy with the morals is talking to her and she's like, well, I think Louis is, what did she say? He's like giving us things to aspire to or to shoot for or whatever the hell she said.
Yeah.
So she's completely on Team Louis.
Yeah.
Like no matter what.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's bringing her success.
Yeah.
And that's really all that she wanted. Just success.
Right. And him too, in a way. I mean, at the end.
Him too. I mean, you get to the point where he's just demanding credits. It's video production news.
Yeah.
And he's not shy about anything.
No. I want to meet this person.
I want to meet this person. I want to meet everybody. Even when he calls in the 911. Yeah, Louis Bloom.
VPN, yeah.
He's like hyper ambitious.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like he finally found that niche.
Yeah.
He's struggling. He's collecting scrap metal. He's digging up manhole covers and stuff. And now it's like, now I have my own business.
Yeah, he's legit now.
I have my intern. I'm willing to do anything. And the fact that just even in the way he drove.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
He could have killed so many people in the way he drove to get to these crime scenes, but it was just no emotion on his face, to the point where I was like, did he do something to his eyes? Is he wearing weird contacts?
Yeah.
Because his eyes looked dead. They were big and bulging, and his face was making all the emotive gestures, but his eyes
were dead.
Like as if they were. It was so weird. Like there was, like, you see Riz Ahmed's eyes when they were in the car, and Riz Ahmed's eyes are shining. He's got morals. He's got some sort of moral compass.
Yeah.
And you just look at Jake Gyllenhaal's eyes, and they look like the dead eyes of a corpse. They look dry.
I mean, even his pallor, his.
Oh, he was physique. He looked like a lizard of some kind.
Yeah, he was, I mean.
Like a gecko.
Yeah, I mean, Nightcrawler. I mean, it's funny that that's what they call these guys, right?
Yeah.
So, but I mean, it makes total sense. This was directed and written by Dan Gilroy. Really fantastic job.
Yeah.
I mean, everything about this film, the writing is sharp, the camera work is amazing.
Gyllenhaal's fantastic.
Gyllenhaal was fantastic in this. I mean,
the ranged focus of his character.
Yeah, I don't remember if he got nominated for an Oscar, but he should have.
Yeah, he was.
He really was just creepy as fuck.
So damn creepy.
Yeah.
I mean, and you were talking earlier this week about a list of reprehensible characters in fiction. This guy belongs on that list.
Absolutely.
Just
Yeah.
No moral compass at all. Just
like
get
some of
the job done.
It's funny because I'm sure in his mind, right, he's justifying everything that he does. I mean, he does something, again, we won't give it away, even though it's from a few years ago, but he does something that's like, and he's
He does a couple of things.
Well, he does a couple of things, but the big one towards the end, that like he justifies it in a way.
Yeah.
And it's like he's so far gone, like he's living in his own reality of what's what. Yeah. And like whatever he does, like you said before, it's however necessary to get the job done, to get paid, to get to the next thing. Yeah. And it's almost like it created sort of like a high for him to be there before the cops, to be the best.
Was the thing. He was so good. He was getting so good that he would arrive. And it wasn't even like a few minutes before the cops.
He was
when he was at that house. He was there a while. He was there for a freaking while.
I know. You and I were like, when the hell are the cops coming?
Yeah, and that was a nice neighborhood.
Yeah. They should have been there like within 7 minutes. What the hell? And he had like almost half an hour in that house.
He was in there he was strolling around.
What did you think of the idea of him sort of, he does in a way create a situation that becomes news, but he also, like there was that scene where he's filming the guy and he moves the body. Like,
yeah, because the framing wasn't nice enough, I guess.
Right, and it was better lit when he moved the body. But so like what did you think of that? Like, what's my question to you? What am I trying to ask you? Like, how does that make him more of a monster, or
because this
is he justified because he's getting the story?
For him, those weren't people. They were
means to an end.
Yeah, they were items to be exploited for his financial gain. And he wanted it to be so perfect that he was willing to alter an accident scene to get the job done. And the funny thing is, one of the reasons why I'm like, Renee Russo is no better was when they're running his footage of that, she looks at him and she's like, you have blood on your shirt. And he's just like, oh, is it? And she's just, okay. She's just fine with it. If he was filming it like from a respectable distance without getting involved, there would be no way that he would have blood on his shirt. But she was just fine to let that pass, to let that slide.
And I think she also must have known that he was doing things that weren't ethically.
I mean, she knew that the moment he walked into the house and got the shot from inside the house, the refrigerator with the bullets in it and the couple through the glass.
Oh, that's true. That was that other story, right? Yeah.
The other guy's like, so you just walked into their house?
Yeah.
Like,
did anybody know? Yeah. He's like asking the question. She didn't care. She was just like, I have my shot.
She's just like, this is where the story is.
Right.
Terror in the
heartland.
Yeah, we got to. Basically, her whole thing was just scaring the shit out of the viewers.
Fox News.
All news, really. But them especially. Oh my God, the way they talk, you'd think that hordes of, like Mad Max hordes of Mexicans are just like streaming and they're like living in our backyard right now.
Yes.
And
don't you see them?
Every time I look under the deck, I'm like, where's the Mexicans? Yeah, you'd think seriously, you think we lived in Mad Max.
Yeah.
Look what's happening. Gas prices and Mexicans and Black Lives Matter.
Yeah. And again, folks, gas prices really have nothing to do with presidents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But I know some people believe that.
It's all about drumming up that fear, so this way you'll tune in because, oh my God, they're the only people telling me all this terrible stuff is happening.
Right. And they're co-signing
why do you need them to tell you all this terrible? According to them, you could just look outside and see all the terrible stuff.
Right.
Yeah, that's logic that goes beyond anything I could figure out. Mm-hmm. They're basically just doing it for ratings so that they could continue to sell the products that support the things.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what this lady, Renee Russo, wanted.
Yeah.
Get that 10 share.
Everybody was really, really good in this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, top to bottom, really just top tier work from everybody, but particularly Jake Gyllenhaal. Completely loathsome, reprehensible. There was a couple of scenes like when he's trying to mac with her, like if that's
macking, that's the creepiest, most like extortionist style macking I've ever seen.
What else was it? I mean,
and it was
trying to get with her.
And it was just like business.
Yeah.
He was like giving her like statistics.
Yeah.
About why this had to happen.
He was so weird.
He laid it out for her where she was
so weird.
Where she was he's just like, I don't see you leaving.
Tom Haverford her.
Not even.
At least Tom's charming.
Tom had no bargaining chips. This guy is just leveraging everything. He's like, I know this, and I know this, and I know this, and the reason why this is happening is because of this. And sweeps are coming up. So this is how the deal's going to be. And
I mean, you have to give him credit. I mean,
do what I say when I say it and how I want it done.
He really just, in a short amount of time, just became like the king of this. I mean, that's kind of impressive.
Yeah. I mean, he had nothing but drive and focus.
Yeah.
And the other, I mean, Bill Paxton apparently was doing well, and I'm sure he would have kept doing well
if he hadn't been stymied.
Yeah. if he didn't go up against what was his name? Leo Bloom?
Lewis Bloom. Yeah.
Who is Leo Bloom? Was that the character from The Producers?
Yes, I think so. I think so.
I wonder if there's any relation.
1 to 10. What are you gonna give this?
I'd give this an 8. I like this.
Yeah, I like this a lot. I think I'm going to give it an 8.5. I think from where it starts to where it ends, it's quite the ride. Mm-hmm. I think.
I'm surprised we didn't see it sooner. It's really good. And seriously, the reason why
I've always wanted to see it.
I always heard it was fantastic.
Yeah.
And I heard that it's like one of Jake Gyllenhaal's best roles.
Agreed.
And yeah, right on both accounts.
Yeah. He is creepy as fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, beyond anything, right? I mean, I think I like the story and everything, but his performance, like, brings it, like, to next level.
Yeah. And, like, it was so bizarre that there were certain bits where it felt comedic.
Yes.
But it's
not.
It's not. It's just creepy.
Yeah. It's a crazy story. I mean, the fact that these kind of people exist is kind of wild, too, if you think about it. I mean,
like
you think about,
I said, if it bleeds, it leads, and you gotta have somebody filming that blood.
Yeah, I was just thinking about like Princess Diana.
Yeah, I mean,
there's a whole industry
when that
of
happened. Yeah, they were all over that like flies. They caused it. So
sad.
Fame and blood.
Yeah,
gets ratings.
Sad. That is a sad state of affairs. That it's all about the fireworks instead of the substance. News isn't news. It's basically entertainment now.
Yeah, because nobody wants to watch boring news. I mean, what are you going to watch? You're going to watch CNN or C-SPAN.
Yeah.
C-SPAN is just the driest, most boring stuff ever.
Although a few weeks ago on a Friday night, I think most of America was riveted with C-SPAN.
Right, because that was just a spectacle clown show. But like 90% of the time, it's just like a bunch of people, of like a wide shot of a bunch of people walking around a room with like some statistics superimposed on it, and maybe you'll hear them go yay, nay, nay, and that's it. And then meanwhile on like CNN and Fox, it's just, the nation is burning. Eggs at $12 a dozen. Going nuts. Gas stoves are the bane of humanity.
Yes.
You'll take my gas stove over my dead hands.
America. God damn it. Anyway,
militias fighting over gas stoves and cheap eggs.
8.5. I think, yes, absolutely. If you have not checked it out, do yourself a favor. Go check out Dan Gilroy's 2014 masterpiece, Nightcrawler, rated R with a runtime of 1 hour and 57 minutes. You will not be disappointed. Again, we saw this on HBO Max. Amazing filmmaking, amazing storytelling, amazing performances, and especially kudos to Mr. Gyllenhaal for bringing that to life.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
And that's it from us, and we will bid you all a
good night.